Well, hey, all you fine folks. How you doing today? Hope you're doing awesome. I'm back today with another knife cleanup video. Now, this was one I picked up at a little antique shop, and it's in pretty rough shape. Did what I could with it. It's not perfect, but here it is. Now, I have to guess this is an older knife. It's got horn handles. Pretty interesting bolster on it. It's a bare end. Has a half stop. Very nice pull. Very solid. Very good action. Very snappy. Nice walk and talk back to the half stop, and real nice snap on the close. Comes in at, right about 4.5 inches. Your blade length comes in at just a hair better than 3.5. The cutting surface just a smidge over 3 inches. Has a little sharpening choil. I wish I could tell you who made this knife, but, well, it does have a tang stamp. It is very worn. It looks to me like it has the initials BK, and then perhaps an M, and then that was a circular stamp, and then it looks like it has writing across the center that starts with a K. But I've looked around at various catalogs online of tag stamps, and I've yet to find this stamp. And I've searched under the initials BK, and again, yet to find anything. It was in fairly rough shape. I'll throw some pictures and some cleanup action. The blade was very, very scratched up and pitted, so I spent a great deal of time hand sanding that down. Took care of most of the heavy scratches. The blade was dinged up. There's a section, if you can see right in here, that there was a big chunk out of it taken by a grinder, I would assume. And I've got a decent edge on it now. Just a piece of cardboard. So it rips through that pretty good. I had a piece of birch bark here, but let me pause. There we go. Just rips nicely through the birch bark. Just the knife spoke to me. It had a look I liked. You might compare it to a full-size sodbuster type knife, although it's probably a little beefier. It's kind of a buoy clip to it. Nail nick, though you really don't need that to open it. There's enough meat of the blade sticking up. You can grab it, but it's a firm pull. It locks solid into that half stop. Just great snap. Good and stable. One issue here was a split in the horn. I had a heck of a time with that. I tried some different types of glue, went to a fast set epoxy, and it took 3 attempts with a fast set epoxy and letting it sit in a clamp for about 24 hours for it to set. Didn't seal it perfect, unfortunately, but at least it's down so that I'm not going to catch on it. But just really cool, old looking covers. I have to assume it's an old knife. I could be wrong, but just the design just screams old to me. It's got what looks like steel liners, very thin. You can see where they're quite banged up. I had to go in and flatten them out a little bit. And there's still some areas where you can see that they're separating. And I'm afraid I'd have to just take the whole thing apart to try and flatten those, reglue it. So I'm just going to leave those as are. They're not causing any issues with the blade closing. The alignment is fairly good. It's at least not rubbing on the sides. But this was a hard-used knife by somebody. But I just thought it was a cool knife. I'd love to figure out who made it. I don't know if it would be North American made or European made, but just a cool knife. Fits well in the hand. Very good solid springs. That's another thing that makes me think it's an older knife. Just aside from the design elements, just the strength of that spring. You don't see that nowadays as much as you used to. Just a good general beefy work knife. Probably could tell a few stories. You've got 4 pins, 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. They appear to be, I'm going to guess steel, because I think it's a steel bolster as well. Could be nickel silver, but I just kind of think steel. Where there's very little brass on it, that might put it into wartime, World War II era. But we've got some greater knife experts out there than me that might be able to chime in. And hopefully somebody will recognize that tang stamp. Anyway, folks, we're going to leave it there. So, just a cool knife. I don't know what more to say about it. I like saving the old ones. Well, that'll be it. Hope you're all having an awesome day and you're all geared up for an awesome weekend. Get out, enjoy time with family and friends, people you appreciate and who appreciate to you. Get yourself out to the woods. Soak in some of that relaxing nature. Forget about all the stress in the world and just enjoy some time with the trees and the animals. Take a knife with you. Might just come in handy. Y'all take care.